Hello, 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 ladies and gelatins. Welcome to a whole new Monday where we will be continuing this journey into Shibuya Scramble. And yes, I did start just a little bit late today, and that's because my headphones were just like not connecting to my computer for some reason, despite the fact that they worked yesterday. And guess what fixed it? Restarting. Restarting always fixes it. But of course, I tried a bunch of other things first, and so that took a little while. And so yeah, and then I had to like boot everything back up. And yep. Anyways, so here we are, and it's all good. It's all fun. And hello, El Cool. Howdy, howdy. Great to see you as well. I hope you've been having a good week and you had a good weekend. Hope so, hope so. I literally can't believe it's already the 20th. Like, October flew by, I think even faster than September, which is crazy. But like, I know there's still some more October left. I know, but like 2020. Time just be doing that. Gosh, I swear, like I'm gonna wake up and it's gonna be Christmas. And I mean, okay, that wouldn't be like the worst thing, but still. Right? It's like way too fast, like way too much stuff's happening. And like, don't get me wrong, we're having a good time. Speaking of having good times, I did in fact purchase Pokemon Z, and because I wanted to. I didn't play Arceus. I didn't enjoy. I didn't get the chance to have that kind of gameplay, and I just really wanted to. And honestly, personally, I have no regrets. I know that people have opinions, and there's a lot of people who have opinions of people on the internet, and literally it goes in every direction. I will say that like gameplay's fun. I'm having a fun time. That's what matters. That is really, really, really what matters. I thought about streaming it, but honestly, I feel like if it was one of those games that I'd rather just sort of binge the way I want to binge and like continue to enjoy story games here on stream. The stories I'm like most enjoying sharing with y'all, whereas like Pokemon stories, they're okay. Like some of them are definitely better than others, and there's definitely some fun parts in there. And like I've enjoyed some of the dialogue that was surprising in there. It's definitely like not for 5-year-olds. There's like a little like the age is just a little bit higher for where they're aiming the dialogue. It's nice. I enjoy it. I enjoy some of the characters there. But like if we're talking about like top tier story, that's never really been Pokemon's forte. A lot of like because honestly, some of the best stories in Pokemon are about what isn't said. It's about just the world building. Pokemon has incredible world building, but story is a different thing. I could talk about Pokemon for ages, but it's like playing it in general. I basically prefer this. Hello, hello, partner in time. Yes. Good to see you. Mr. Fully Shine for yes, Mystery Dungeon. I'd say is really, really cool too. Development cost is too low. Oh yeah. Honestly, like I actually went down a little rabbit hole because I was like, yeah, people have a lot of opinions about like, especially like the more and more I guess just the more recent generations, basically since they moved to the Switch, a lot of people have stronger and stronger opinions about just Game Freak specifically. And it really is just like a combination of things. It's Japanese work culture, the fact that people will absolutely buy it anyways because they do, and just the fact that like it's the classic corpo problem of there are way too few people who are forced to make a game in way too short a timeline, which gets like staggeringly increasingly harder and harder when graphics expectations go up and time for graphics turnaround on 3D games is just higher because there are just more graphics to graphic, especially in when you don't have fixed cameras. You have to do the whole model, not just like this one part that look nice, right? And so, yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's I'm sure there's a little bit more complex, but I really think it's pretty much just that simple. And at the same time, I'll continue to enjoy the games. Like, I 100% respect the people who don't want to buy and want to convince people not to buy, and I respect the people who do decide to buy, and I absolutely, you know, think that I don't blame the people who are review bombing and hoping that it'll get Nintendo's attention. I'm never a fan of people leaving reviews for games that they didn't play, though, in general. But like, if that works to get Nintendo's attention, besides, you know, not people not buying the game because people are gonna buy the game anyways, then okay, cool. Maybe we'll see a thing, because like the frames per second and like the performance of this game is a lot better, but they sacrificed a lot of the actual like graphics to do that, and they could have just been smarter with how they did the graphics. But like, it's still like it's still fine, because I focus on the gameplay, and gameplay is way solid. Like, I will admit, at the very beginning, like, I also am one of the people who, yeah, I'm no one loves hand-holdy tutorials, especially like once you're, especially even 5-year-olds don't like hand-holdy tutorials. They really don't. But like, I just submit to it. Like, I just let it happen. I'm like, cool, I'm just gonna go along with the tutorial until I am free. And that's it. Like, I accept my fate. I just put it in as the time until they let me go. And it took a little longer than I expected, and at the beginning it was like a little bit, okay, all right, let's see how this is going. But then when I got out there, it was actually just great, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of obsessed a little bit. So I think it's still worth it. And I also, again, I understand that Pokemon, like Game Freak Pokemon, they will always do, like, every Pokemon game is someone's first, and it's for kids. So like, it's okay. We all want a button that says, I know more than you. I've played every Pokemon game ever. Please don't tell me what a Pokemon is. Like, we all want that. But like, I just accept it as a part of it is. Like, once you get past the tutorial, like, you still have the whole game. Like, you have so much more game to game. So, Chunsoft Company made... Okay, all right. I did not actually expect that at all. I did not expect this to be connected to Shibuya Scramble, but surprise, okay, this company that made this also made Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Incredible! Yeah, and I really did like, I liked the Mystery Dungeons that I played. I think I only, I played one of them. One of the ones that was on the DS, I think. Yeah, one of the ones on the DS. And then I like dabbled in a couple of the others. I never got as deep in the others, but I loved the premise from the beginning, and I loved how the combat felt totally different and like strategic, and like placement and stuff mattered instead of like timing. I loved it. And I love the combat in Pokemon Za too. Explorers of Time. Yeah, it was definitely one of those, but I don't know which one because I don't think I have the cartridge anymore. It was one of the ones that was lost in one of the moves I had over the years, unfortunately. So, hello, Ripsticks. Eating burgers out of other monsters with extra specials. I mean, listen, there's definitely a lot of monsters that you could make delicious burgers out of. I can agree with that. I'm trying to think of, like, I've also been playing, like, Monster Hunter now on the phone, so I'm trying to think which monster would be the most delicious. Kuluyaku. I feel like Kuluyaku would be like a very delicious, chickeny, beefy. I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a bit more red meat going on in there, so I feel like it's not just chicken flavor in a Kuluyaku. But I don't know. I'll have to find out. Gates to Infinity. For gens. Yeah, like, I like it too. And yeah, I didn't see Beetlejuice 2. I saw the trailer and already knew that it wasn't for me personally, because like, I know some people really into it, very good about it, and that's great. Hooray! I'm really happy for people who like the thing, but I looked at it and I'm like, that's not really a me thing, because like, I enjoyed Beetlejuice, but I wasn't like, wow, this is one of the best movies ever made. But that also reminds me, Halloween is coming up, and I haven't seen Beetlejuice. I've seen it once, and I saw it when I was like a kid. And you know what? Maybe I should just watch the original again, actually. I could definitely show some people. It's one of the fun things I get to enjoy about, like, being American girl in Poland is that, like, I get to introduce, like, a surprising amount of Halloween stuff because it just, like, yeah, a lot of American media came over here, but the Halloween stuff, like, people know what Halloween is, of course. Like, there's some Halloween, like, stuff in general going on, but the movies and stuff, especially the older ones, not so much. So I get to introduce people to a lot of things, and it's fun. 15 pounds of candy. Oh my God, I need to buy candy just in case because actually some kids do live in this apartment complex, and last year I had nothing, so I gave them, like, it's not, okay, it wasn't, you know what, it's similar to giving, like, let's say it's something between giving a packet of, like, applesauce and a packet of, like, Jell-O mix. Because I don't know how else to explain quiche to people who have never had quiche. It's like instant kind of Jell-O, but it's very good. Kids do like it. I like it, but, like, that's all I had. That and a pumpkin muffin, and I would like to have something more this year, so that way. Oh, actually, hold on. I did buy some chocolates. What if I just save some of those chocolates so that way, if, like, two, because it's gonna be like one, maybe two kids that are gonna show up, but I would like to have something for them so I could give them a little chocolate, actually. I think that would be a good idea. So that's the plan. All right, but if I don't, I have to remember to buy something. What else was I saying? About Pokemon. Oh yeah, older generations. Scoop. No, it was in the packet. Just some condiments. It felt like that. It wasn't, but it kind of felt like it. You know, like, I don't know how to. I just, like, I felt so bad because I was like, I just didn't expect it because I've never had someone knock on my door for Halloween before. That has happened exactly 0 times in Poland ever. So it was weird and interesting, but also really adorable. So yeah, I want to be prepared. I have wrapped utensils or chopsticks. I think I was wearing makeup though, or maybe I wasn't yet. No, I was probably wearing. I think I was doing, like, my half skull face thing. So I had something. At least I had, like, makeup in the vibe. But yeah, no, did feel like that. I don't want to be the grumpy house who doesn't have candy, but again, so I'm trying to think. I really did have a thing. That's fine. You know what? It's been about 20 minutes. Maybe we should play the game. If I remember anything else or anyone else has thoughts or opinions about Pokemon, I'm always down to talk about it. It's a series that I grew up with, and I will never, ever not be into Pokemon at least a little bit. It's just, it's so cute and fun, and I like the fighting. I like battling. Okay. So, where were we? So Tama is at a bad end. Remind me where. Where were we at a bad end? Just keep my fingers crossed for the guy. Or no, we didn't. I think we just stopped here. Last time back outside the building. I feel bad about not returning the cat suit to the man from the rental place. Still, can't just walk around town wearing this thing. I'll stick out like a sore thumb. I figure it's best to just leave it behind. Then it dawns on me. Hold on, I still can't get this thing off. Time I skin this cat. Okay, that's right, we're gonna try. You get rid of this costume, whatever it takes. Take hold of the head in both hands and yank it upward as hard as I could. Uh-huh. Please tell me you're not just imagining things. The head feels a whole lot looser than it did before. If I get a good enough push, then maybe... Rag! It comes off. I did it! I slip out of the rest of the cat costume and gleefully abandon it as I head out for the knick-knack shop. Well, that'll be interesting. we probably need to be a cat still longer. I have a feeling that it's important. But we'll see. Solid. Help a buddy out. Comes home from surgery and is back. Oh, nice. So good of you to be there for someone when they're so vulnerable. Hope. Did you also just like get to hang out with him and, you know, like remind him that life is not just post-surgery pain, or was he just too out of it for anything and tired? Yeah, because as mentioned, my weekend was pretty much, I went to the Warsaw Beer Festival. That was fun. That was a very good time. I got to try a bunch of different flavors of beers and mead. Not that many, like, because I can't have any alcoholic beverages, because, you know, it hits me hard. But I did get some fun flavors. Like, one of them tasted like berry cheesecake, and another like this mango coconut. It tasted like a mango lassi, but it was beer somehow. Like, it was basically just like a nice smoothie beer thing. That was really fun. There was this one that was like peanut butter stout. There sure was peanut butter in there. It was like peanut butter covered in like coffee and I don't know, the ashes of your enemies. It was kind of bitter. It was good. It wasn't bad, but it was also bitter. There was also one which was like stout with cocoa and Carolina Reaper, and I asked like, okay, like how much Carolina Reaper are we talking? He's like, it's not so spicy. It was not like spicy at all. Not really. Could not really taste the spice for the most part. I had a very fun time just exploring and trying a bunch of different flavors. Very, very good time. I don't think we've done any. Okay, we have. Let's just. Oh, actually, I'm really curious about Ashi's story. So, yeah, mangoes are so good. I love mangoes so much. Like, I don't know if it's my favorite by far because, like, I don't know, it's too hard for me to pick favorites. When it comes to fruit, I love almost every fruit I've ever had, ever. Absolutely delightful. And, yeah, so it was that, and it was Pokemon, and it was chillin', and I feel like I did another thing. Oh, I went to see a movie, which was a movie that was Polish in Poland, so it was supposed to be about LARP, which is, like, I literally saw an advertisement in the metro, and I was like, I want to see this movie. I want to see this Polish movie about LARP. I don't expect anything. And I was disappointed in ways that I did not expect, but I also had a really good time because the movie was so weird. I'm like, this movie is not about LARP, it's about awkward teenage love that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and stupid bullies and like American tropes and that. Like, I had so many opinions. And then I found out it was not a sequel, but it was based off of a different movie which was made like 10, 11 years ago, which was like 24 minutes long, also made for a film festival. And I was like, okay, I gotta find that one. Was so much okay. So the one that was 24 minutes long had a way better plot, despite the fact that it wasn't a movie. It was like short film, effectively. It wasn't like a full movie with a full budget and a full everything. And like, but it felt like, because there were so many parts that were copied, like the main character's name was copied, like the opening scene was more or less copied. It is on YouTube. It's on YouTube, and it has, okay, hold on. It's on YouTube and it has English subtitles, actually. It's super Polish. It's very, very, very Polish. But like this thing, it was better. And then when I saw it and I went to the theater and when I went to the theater, I was like, what even is happening? Why is this thing like this? And I came and I watched this one at home and I'm like, hold on. If they were trying to make a better, longer, more thought out version of this, they failed in every possible way. I was so confused, but they kept some of the good scenes, and those were the only really like parts of the movie. I was like, yeah, okay, we got LARP, we got like, you know, struggles with family and understanding and stuff, and just, you know, common teenager struggles, and like, you know, trying to figure out how to express yourself but in a safe place like LARP and seeing how that works with stuff in real life. I see the themes going on here, but none of that was in the movie theater version. None of that. But that theater was like packed with people, and I'm standing there like, what is happening? What is going on? What? Like, literally, there's a love interest in this 24-minute one too. It's super short, but they had more chemistry in the like 5 minutes they overall interacted with each other, maybe less than the 2 main characters from the other movie completely, even though the whole movie was about that. I have so many opinions, but actually, just in case, if you guys are interested, I'm gonna try to remember. I will post a link to the YouTube one in the chat afterwards, because like I said, it has English subtitles, so you can see it. It's very Polish, but there's also some things that are just kind of universal about it. So it's like 24 minutes long, and it's a thing. Like, it's nothing. It's not like a, oh my god, this is super amazing film, but like, there's like, okay, there's some potential here. There's some stuff going on about it. Like, you can see a theme, and I've not seen, like, there's not that many movies about LARP in general, right? So yeah, but then yeah, I know I've watched like YouTube essays longer than that, like a lot of them, including like the one about Shadow of the Colossus, which was amazing. I loved that. I loved that one. So I love video essays so much. Oh my gosh. Yeah, anyway, so yeah. Oh, well, I'm so glad you were like keeping your friend in line about just like pushing himself to. It's so easy to push yourself too hard after a sickness or during a sickness or a surgery or something, just because like it feels so wrong to be helpless. It can be easy to do that. So it's good to have someone to tell you, so you feel like you're being forced to take it easy, then it's easier. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it was an amazing watch. I loved it so much. I really did. It was such a beautifully told story of this whole like just years long of conspiracy and hope and dreams, and what developers actually did with this, and like, really cool. Loved it. Anyway, so Achi. The man with the cane crooked his finger on the trigger. Achi stepped in front of Hitomi, shielding her with his body. If you want to shoot her, you'll have to shoot me too. Suddenly, the assassin's head jerked forward. He pitched face first on the pavement and lay still, revealing a foreign man standing behind him. Oh, no. In one hand, the stranger clutched a metal pipe. Hitomi, Achi asked, you know that guy? Hitomi's eyes went wide. That's the man from the Scramble. When he told me to go to the van. Wait, one of the kidnappers? Why would he help us? Is he helping? I don't like that smell. I'm not sure. The newcomer fixed his eyes on Achi. Hey man, Achi approached the stranger. Not sure what's going on here, but thanks for the assist. Nope, whoa! The man took a sudden swing with his pipe. Achi barely managed to dodge out of the way. What the hell? Once again, Achi made sure Hitomi was safely behind him. I guess I gotta let my fist do the talking. Achi quickly adopted a fighting stance. Be careful, Hitomi warned, her voice trembling. He does have a pipe, and he does look terrible. But don't worry, it's just a pipe. I'll just snatch it away from him and make him tell us where your sister is. Achi judged the distance between them carefully as he stared his opponent down. The metal pipe gave this thug considerable reach. One solid hit from that thing and Achi wouldn't stand a chance. He needs to end this in one punch. The crook sized him up a few moments, then lunged forward to attack. Now. Achi sidestepped to avoid the incoming blow, then delivered a vicious left hook to his adversary's jaw. The man went down hard. Achi gazed at his fallen foe, flexing his knuckles. The thing about guys who bring weapons to fights is they always let themselves get too cocky. Skull. I had a lot of trouble reading it, and the first thing my brain tried to like read in that was Skrillex. It's not Skrillex, but like I don't know. Maybe because of the font or the S and just like SK, and my brain's like, yeah, that's a KR thing. That definitely says skull or scroll. Probably not scroll. Like a crabby nurse. And you know what? Sometimes you gotta be the crabby nurse. It's important. Like role models LARPing. Oh my gosh, yeah. Right, like honestly, it's also kind of interesting because I know that there are some good LARPs around here and I'd like to go LARPing one day around here, but I'm also I don't know. I don't want to go by myself and I don't want to go without knowing someone there because that's like hard to get in without having an in. It's definitely possible, but it can be difficult. And I also was gonna go to one, but then it stopped being a thing like 2 summers ago. So I didn't get a chance. The only video essays I avoid are those that are actually plot summaries. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 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 no. I only like video essays with like full emotion. Like I want the facts, but I also want the bias. Like, give me both. Like, give me the neutral stance. Give me just the pieces of, like, how, like, just the information I need to form an opinion, and then tell me your opinion. Because, like, if I don't feel that the creator has an opinion and has a stake in this and has thoughts and feelings about the whole everything, I'm like not interested. Heroes easily. Oh yeah. It's true that the Euro LARPs are seen as it, but like it depends because like I really enjoyed the ones I played in the US too that were very like sporty. Like I personally don't care nearly as much about the visuals as I do about the gameplay. If the gameplay is fun, I do not really care how it looks like at all. I'm one of those people. Like, yeah, of course, if people can do like I will also like I will notice the details people put in. I will notice the crafting and all that stuff. And I did a lot of makeup, heavy makeup. I made latex masks and props and stuff. Like I made a bunch of that stuff. I know how it works. I know how hard it is. I know how fun it is, but I know what it takes to make like good stuff. And like, yo, my goblin orc masks were awesome. I actually managed to keep one of those. Most of them I did donate or sell, but I did manage to keep some of them. Or one pair. But like, for me, it's all about the gameplay. I'm super into the gameplay and just like the people. The people are cool. That's also really, really important. He looked the guy over. The man had a tattoo peeking from one of his ratty sleeves. Come on, buddy, you can't clock out just like that. Hachi said, get up, I got a few questions for you. Knelt down to grab the man by his collar. Whoa. Halfway to his feet, the man pulled a gun from his breast pocket. Everyone's got guns. Whoa, didn't know you were packing heat. Hachi took a quick step backward. The man's eyes brimmed with rage. He looked ready to pull the trigger at any moment, but he didn't get the chance. The man with the cane had regained consciousness. Back on his feet, he trained his own gun on the foreigner. The foreigner quickly shifted his attention to the other gunman. Oh, no you don't. Hachi darted forward and kicked the kidnapper in the hand as hard as he could. The gun went flying from his grasp. With a low snarl, the man took up the metal pipe again. Rather than go for Hachi, however, he charged the man with the cane. What the? Hachi watched in astonishment as the two men grappled. Now's our chance. Grabbing Hitomi by the hand, Hachi broke into a run. Okay, if they're like not friends with each other, how about like someone make words with their mouth to explain something and not just point guns at people like they're magic wands? They ran for a long time, finally stopping to rest in a quiet municipal park. As they sat catching their breath, Achi sensed a new tension in Hitomi. She hadn't said a word since their latest escape. She has to die, Achi. It's for your own good. Oh, he did. He did say those words, but that didn't explain anything. You have to say, like, reasonable human words with your mouth, like words that would make sense in the context of the situation. In his mind, Achi replayed what the man with the cane had said. So, Hitomi, Achi hesitated, about what happened back there, yeah? She sounded like she'd been far gone in her own thoughts. You gotta believe me, I have no idea who that guy was. Never seen him before in my life. He must have been saying that stuff to confuse us, trip us up. Yeah? Tell me that again. Is that what's bothering you? That was Achi's turn to go monosyllabic. Well, Achi, you're kind of famous around Shibuya, right? Don't know about that. Way back when, he'd been the leader of SOS. Nowadays, he was just some guy who picked up trash. That was nothing to brag about. When someone's famous, it's not unusual for someone else to recognize them and know their name. So, yeah, I was surprised back there, but no matter what that man may have said, I trust you. I mean, look at how many times you put yourself in danger to protect me. Hitomi sounded pretty resolute. Achi was glad that she believed him, but that raised another question. So then how come you've been so quiet? Just been thinking about things. Like what that man from the Scramble might be after. It was true that his actions didn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, he seemed more interested in taking the man with the cane than going after you. Maybe there's a case of bad blood between them. She let out a little chuckle. If we're lucky, maybe they'll take each other out for us. He felt a rush of relief, reassured that Hitomi didn't doubt his motives. Regardless, though, we have to track down that blue van. The sound of a child's cry came from them. Oh, turning to look, they saw the kidnapper rushing towards them. He knocked over a little girl who was in his way. Oh my god, look at her face. Okay, I know she's not really face planning, but like, that's such an amazing photo. Actually, that girl would have had a lot of fun making this photo and doing like this crazy pose on the ground. Now rest for the weary, Achi sighed. Yet again, he and Hitomi sprinted away. Do you think he took out the guy with the cane? Hitomi's words came between panting huffs. Maybe. Achi glanced back at their pursuer. What? There was someone else with them. Now they were being chased down by 2 foreigners. I like this better when we were just running away from one guy with the cane. In a one-on-one fight, Achi was confident he could keep Hitomi safe. 1-on-2, though, that was a different story. One guy might get a hold of her while he was facing off against the other. He had to make sure they lost these creeps no matter what. Alright, we got another keep out. What was your thing currently? Just barely started. He's not at a bad end or anything. To keep out. Tama's at a keep out. Osawa, I don't know what's going on with Osawa. Let's find out. I don't deserve to be forgiven for what I've done. We may have both done the same thing, but my motives, those were different, and I don't regret what I did. Is Hitomi infected with the virus? I mean, if it was, everyone that she's ever been near is already dead, so not really. And yet, if someone were to ask if there was some small part of me that wanted to see the results of my research, could not deny it. Osawa grabbed his shoes from the entryway, then headed for the back door. He didn't want the detectives in his living room to know he was going to meet with Makino. That pest Kajiwara was nowhere in sight. Now was his chance to slip away. Gotcha. Speak of the devil, Kajiwara had snuck up behind him. Okay, so this this background music here, I now have so intrinsically linked in my head with the sound of the plunger in the toilet. That's all I could think of now is the plunger. It's everything. Are you going out? The detective asked. Ah, no. I was just... Osawa felt something inside his shoe. Glancing down, he saw a rubber duck stuffed inside it. Is this your doing? Sorry, had to cough. I laid a booby trap, or rather, a ducky trap. Originally, a type of lethal trap used during wartime to catch clumsy or unawary soldiers, boobies. In modern parlance, however, the term frequently signifies a harmless prank, such as setting a blackboard eraser atop a classroom door so it falls on the head of whoever opens the door. Kajiwara beamed with self-satisfaction. You know, you act like a grade schooler, Osawa said. Indeed, sir. I am a grown man with a youthful heart. Leave it to Kajiwara to yet again miss the point entirely. With a sigh, Osawa tossed the duck at him. Kajiwara caught it nimbly in one hand and stuffed it right into his pocket. I won't tell you that you aren't allowed to leave, sir. All I ask is that you tell me where you've been, where you plan on going. My work is highly confidential. I'm not at liberty to discuss just anything about... Please try to work with me on this, sir, Kajiwara interrupted. He leaned in uncomfortably close. Do you recall what I said before about how I'd appreciate it if you didn't keep secrets from me? Osawa hesitated, inwardly debating how much he should share. That's an interesting one. Secrets, lies. I feel like lying is the worst option. But telling the truth sounds fascinating. I actually really want to see what Kajiwara would say about this. Maybe nothing. Sure. We'll tell the truth. All right, I'll tell you. Just leave me in peace. One of my colleagues is waiting for me outside. Who is it? Sorry, that's all I can say. Could you tell me a bit about what you'll be discussing? Kajiwara leaned in even closer. His eyes twinkled with suspicion. Can't share corporate secrets, detective. Like how you don't tell me anything about the state of your investigation. Goes both ways. Might have been childish reasoning, but it worked on Kajiwara. All right, detective said. In that case, I have just one condition. Please take this with you. He produced something that looked like a small transceiver from inside his coat. What's this? It's a bug tracker, sir. It'll beep in response to a nearby listening device. Just gonna meet someone from work. Don't need this. He pushed Kajiwara's hand aside, and the bug tracker fell to the floor. Mr. Osawa, you mustn't underestimate the lengths to which these kidnappers might go. For once, the detective's face was all serious. All right, fine. Osawa snatched up the device and headed out the door. Makino's car was parked out in front. A driver stood alongside it. Osawa exchanged a wordless greeting with him and then got in the back. He found Makino reclining in one of the luxurious leather seats. Now then, Makino said, what did you want to ask me about? Lighting a cigar, he glanced sidelong at Osawa. I was hoping you could explain the situation to me, sir. Which situation would that be? So he was still going to beat around the bush, even now. Osawa suppressed an urge to shout at him. Are you the one who let the antiviral out of the lab, sir? Yep, that was me. Makino didn't bat an eyelid. This might have been so coy a few moments earlier. But how? The fingerprint authentication system is almost unbreakable. Getting access to the storage area would... He trailed off as though his thought suddenly occurred to him. It was not strictly true that fingerprint authentication was the only means of entry. Osawa and Tanaka had both set up passwords as a failsafe in case an injured fingertip somehow prevented them from operating the scanner properly. These passwords were 10-character alphanumeric strings. No one could just haphazardly fumble their way in. Could Makino have sent a request to electronic locks manufacturer and asked them to unlock it then? No, that required the approval of 6 board members. Osawa was one of those 6 people. There really seemed to be no way of getting in without leaving any trace. You're absolutely right, of course, Makino said with a grin as if reading his thoughts. I couldn't gain access to the lab without you and Tanaka. But I didn't have to. He exhaled a large plume of smoke. You remember when we released the samples for animal testing? No, it couldn't be. Osawa broke out in a sweat. Ah, but it could. I had them divert some of the samples intended for animal testing. Naturally, that didn't leave any record of anything being taken from the lab. Osawa bit his lip hard. He couldn't help but feel betrayed by his company. But why? Makino let out a nasal, one-note chuckle. You don't seem to grasp just how valuable this thing really is. What do you mean by that, sir? Makino lowered his voice. There is a major world power out there that has already weaponized the UA virus. For a moment, Osawa thought this was just a sick joke, but the look on Makino's face told him otherwise. I've been informed that it was recently used on a military installation in the Middle East. Within 12 hours of dispersal, there were at least 800 casualties. If you include civilians, the number jumps to over 2,000. Any evidence of that disease agent in the bomb that delivered it has, of course, been covered up. Osawa listened in amazement. He was outraged that any government would commit such an atrocity, not quite suppressing his excitement at discovery that the virus could be propagated by explosive means. He felt a flush of guilt at his own fascination. The antiviral you created, Osawa, has the potential to render this weapon useless. Right now, Okoshi Pharmaceutical possesses the sole means to combat UA. Makino's lips curled into a boastful grin. Any number of countries would love to get their hands on it. The major power in question has offered an unprecedented sum. And that's hardly a surprise. Having a monopoly on the antiviral makes the weapon itself that much more valuable. To Osawa, this was a glimpse into another terrifying world, one he had barely imagined previously. So you wanted to get human testing over with as soon as possible, is that it? Makino shrugged. I explained that full well to the locals what the risk of experimentation were, and they were paid in accordance with said risks. They willingly consented to infection with the UA virus. Sophistry. Osawa huffed nothing more. Used money to deceive a bunch of poor farmers. Come on, Osawa, who's being disingenuous now? Makino eyed him with contempt and let out another puff of smoke. I know you, Osawa. I know you're not really concerned for some bunch of hick farmers. All you care about is your research. The thing that's really nagging you right now is that someone went ahead and did the final clinicals without you. Oh, spare me the ridicule, sir. As a virologist, I have a moral duty to... To what? Makino barked. Go to the media with this? Do you have any idea how much money the company has thrown at your lab to keep it up and running? Osawa's lab has incurred expenses of roughly 30 billion yen in developing the antiviral medication. Okoshi Pharmaceutical spends approximately 200 billion yen per year on research and development. Osawa's work is the single most costly element of that budget. Osawa gasped. I do appreciate all the company has done for me, sir. He spoke so quietly that his voice was nearly inaudible. In any event, Makino said, now that you know about the human testing, I can't let you go to America. How do you know about that? He'd insisted that I kept his planted relocation a secret, but apparently she told her father regardless. Of course, she doesn't like you at all. If you insist on making the move anyway, I'll use any means necessary to stop you. Makino regarded Osawa with a bloodshot gaze. Any means necessary? Osawa swallowed the lump in his throat. Sir, you don't mean that my daughter's kidnapping was... Don't be ridiculous, Makino said before Osawa could finish. Of course that wasn't me. Nevertheless, I'll do what I must to keep you alive. Remember that. Understood, sir. I'll turn down the U.S. job offer. Osawa heard his own voice like the thin drone of a tiny insect. He felt utterly powerless. Can't simply take your word on that, Makino said. Do it now. I want to hear you do it myself. He jutted his jaw towards the phone in the backseat console. All right, he had no choice but to fall in line. Couldn't this wait just a little bit, sir? Osawa asked. Maybe he could still find a way out. You already know what my decision is, Makino said. His tone carried an edge of intimidation. Osawa didn't reply. He simply stared at the telephone. He felt like an insect who'd had all his legs plucked off. You need to think about your wife, too. Makino's words were barely above a murmur. Realizing that his boss was speaking as Ai's father, Osawa couldn't bring himself to resist further. He reached out for the phone. It would be around 10 p.m. local time for the American firm. He decided to call his contact's personal phone. Headhunter was shocked to hear that Osawa wanted to decline the position. When he pressed for the reasons behind the decision, Osawa hung up. Visibly relieved, Makino lit up a fresh cigar. Sir, there's one thing I don't understand. What's that? Osawa's head was feeling fuzzy. The smoke inside the vehicle had gotten extremely thick. If someone had this top secret information, why wouldn't they threaten the company as a whole? Why send these emails to me personally? Not sure. There's an internal investigation already underway. We'll find the source of the leak soon enough. At this point, though, Osawa wasn't sure knowing who originally leaked the info mattered that much at all. If you'll beg my pardon then, sir, Osawa said. He put his hand on the door handle. A sudden high-pitched chirp sounded from his pocket. The bug tracker Kajiwara had given him had picked up a signal. Is that your cell? Makino asked. Ah, oh, yes, that's mine. He hurriedly hopped out of the car and reached into his pocket. Is everything all right, sir? The driver was still waiting outside the car, and he leaned towards Osawa, looking concerned. Was it you? Osawa stepped close to the driver. Did you send me those emails? What? What are you talking about, sir? Don't play dumb with me. You're the only person who could have planted a listening device on a company car. Listening device? The driver raised an eyebrow in confusion. What are you after? Sir, what are you talking about? Who told you to do it? Tell me. The driver fled back into the car. Osawa clutched the bug tracker hard as he watched the vehicle pull away. Oh, buddy. Yep. Osawa has made a lot of terrible life decisions. Again, the second I heard in the last, hour of this game how he thinks about his wife and his daughters, but mostly how he thinks about his wife, is like, oh, it doesn't matter if, she decided to marry me because of, her father's stake in the company. It's just, that's what marriage is about. What? She's still my wife. What? You don't talk? You don't have it? What is a wife to you? What is the purpose of a wife? What does that even mean? She does not care for you in the least. And I just... He's... the thing is, she's not even, I don't like her. I really don't like her. But she's not even straight up evil. He doesn't seem even remotely like a good partner in any way, shape, or form. I don't think he loves her either, at all. I don't think what he feels for her is even remotely close to love. It's this weird possession, but checking a box. Have wife. Da-ding! Done. And he just thinks it's a solved problem forever. Yeah, he treats her like a solved problem. Kind of. Oh, so strange. But yeah, no, I'm not surprised that the man who has the emotional intelligence of a rock ended up working for a soulless corpo. And yeah, of course her name is Ai. Japanese word for love. Of course it is. Yeah, she's just filled with love in her heart for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel bad for her too. With a father like that, she probably did not have a choice. The daughter was... Because it was even mentioned, one of their daughters this director's daughters had to be sacrificed. How much did she really fully consent to this, or was she bribed? Yeah, her dad's rich and maybe said, hey, I'm never going to give... yeah, she could, live her own way or whatever, but like also in the times where they got married, like could she own a bank account or anything, or did she need her dad's / husband's money? They have 2 kids, so something happened there at some point, but like no, it's not. Oh, that's right, it's not her kids, it's from previous marriage. It's not even her kids. They don't have any kids. They have probably not even consummated that marriage. And good, because neither of them should, because they are weird roommates. That's why you can't trust AI. Oh, God. She's AI. She's not even real. Oh, my God. She must have gotten home while he was out. You were there with my father, weren't you? She sneered at Osawa as he slipped off his shoes. Yes, I was, and it's over. What's over? She knows damn well what. He struggled to contain his irritation. America, I'm not going. Oh, really? Well, that is good news. She sounded sincerely pleased. Maybe a little more pleased than Osawa cared for. I need to finish up some work things, he mumbled. He hurried to his study on the 2nd floor. I mean, you can call the headhunter back and be like, hey, I'm reconsidering still. He threw himself down in front of his computer. There hadn't been any progress on the investigation, as usual. Just how long was all this going to go on for? Were all kidnapping cases this drawn out? A specialized victim support team belonging to the Special Criminal Investigation Unit has been deployed at Osawa's house. The members of this team are all specialists who receive training in such skills such as negotiation, high-speed motorcycle and automobile driving, running phone traces, special communications, and phone record acquisition. Osawa was growing more and more uneasy. He could barely contain himself at this point. Wasn't there anything he could do? He glanced over at his monitor. That's an idea. He could look up kidnapping investigations on the internet. That might give him some insight into the current situation. Kidnapping, police investigations, hostages. He typed the 3 keywords into the search field. The engine pulled up over 100,000 hits. He scanned the beginning of the list for anything that might be useful. One of the site links caught his eye. How the police do it! Yes, this is what we need to know. How the police do it. It looked like a page containing information on various types of police cases. He clicked on the link for kidnapping cases and began to read. Even if the hostages wound up safe in the end, the site informed him the police lost face if the culprit got away. And if hostages were killed and the kidnapper evaded capture, the media would have a field day. This made apprehending the suspect an absolute necessity. Even if a person's life was on the line, when it came to kidnapping case, the police prioritized making the arrest. Taking his hand off the mouse, Osawa sat back and thought. He wasn't going to be able to relax until he heard Maria's voice again. But if the police prioritized arresting the suspect, why were they just letting things stay in limbo now? Didn't they have the crooks under surveillance? He couldn't wrap his head around that. The internet hadn't been able to give him the info he hoped for after all. Unable to do anything for Maria but wait, he turned his thoughts to how his opportunity to transfer to the US had passed him by. The research facilities in America would have been top tier, but some part of him still couldn't quite accept what happened. He stole a quick look back at the door, then surfed to the Aya Kamiki fan community for people 40 and over. When something was weighing on his mind, posting to these forums seemed to turn his mood back around. He knew that now wasn't really the time to be doing this, but he needed to do something to calm and quiet his mind. Start a new forum topic. He wrote, Aya Kamiki expanding into the US. With Aya Kamiki still at the height of her popularity, does anyone think it would be excited if she ventured into the American market? I know I would. She's not the sort of artist who deserves to be confined to Japan. She should be recording at an American studio staffed by the industry's best. I'd love to see her career really take off for her over there. He wound up getting into a little back and forth with himself. Hopefully he'd get a response from someone else soon. A sudden shrill noise startled him so much he nearly cried out. His heart fluttered like that of a young child who'd been caught in some prank. Realizing the sound was coming from the bug tracker, he pulled it out from his pocket, took a few breaths to steady himself. Evidently, someone had bugged his study as well. Tracker in hand, he walked towards the center of the room. What direction was the signal coming from? He tried heading over towards the window. Here, maybe? Next next to desk. Here too? The bug tracker was picking up signals from all over the room. Had there been that many listening devices planted in here? Mr. Osawa, it's Kajiwara. Ah, perfect timing. Osawa hurried to let the detective into the study. Bug tracker's picking up signals. Oh? Yes, from all over the room. What should I do? Mr. Osawa, please calm down, as if that's possible right now. Feels like there must be 10, no maybe 100 listening devices in here. Kajiwara didn't miss a beat. Let me be honest with you. That bug tracker is broken. What? Osawa was dumbfounded. Broken? But this is the one I got from you, right? Well, yes, but mine isn't detecting anything. Kajiwara produced an identical bug tracker from his pocket. And as he said it, it wasn't getting any signal. As I recall, Mr. Osawa, that one was dropped on the floor when I was trying to hand it to you. Ah, yes, that's right. That must have been when it broke, sir. The strength ebbed from Osawa's body. He didn't even have the mental energy to be angry anymore. He gave the tracker a whack with the palm of his hand and the beeping stopped. Right. What can I do for you? Kajiwara clapped his hands together as if he just remembered something. Oh, right, we have a big problem. Toilet again? No, it's not that. It's something worse. Kajiwara's face turned grim. Something worse? Something happened to Maria? He needed to hear the detective out. What is it? Go on, tell me. He did his best to remain composed. Well, you see. We ordered lunches for everyone. It looked like there were 2 still left over, so I wound up eating them. There was an awkward pause. Osawa didn't have the foggiest idea of how to respond. My deepest apologies, sir. I ate the lunches intended for you and your wife. Kajiwara bowed profusely, and I really do need to apologize. They were tonkatsu bento boxes, and they were delicious. The meat was so tender, and the batter so crisp. Each and every bite, the rich flavor just filled my mouth more and more. Osawa felt a blood vessel burst in his skull. Listen, you. Get your goddamn act together, or... He didn't get to finish the thought. A pathetic little gurgle sounded from his stomach. Ah, see, Kajiwara said. You are hungry. He fussed sheepishly with his hair. At the talk of food, Osawa realized abruptly he hadn't eaten anything since the night before. Shall I make something for you? The detective said. This is all my fault, after all. You can cook? Osawa wasn't sure how thrilled he was with the idea of Kajiwara helping him. You mustn't judge people based on outward appearances, Mr. Osawa. Right, fine, go ahead then. His newfound hunger was making it hard for him to think. It certainly behooved him to eat something. He led Kajiwara to the kitchen. Oh, God. I'm terrified with what he's going to cook. What's with that getup? Wearing an apron in the kitchen is a must, sir. The cartoon character printed on the apron Kajiwara is wearing is one of his own design. It is modeled after MPD's mascot. His name is Pinpo-kun. Alas, it isn't what... Sorry, I read that in my head before reading it out loud, and I'm just upset that I have to read this aloud with my mouth. Wearing an apron in the kitchen is a must, sir. Alas, it isn't while I'm naked. Naked? Oh, are you not familiar with the concept of the naked apron? I'm so afraid to click on this. Oh my God. Okay. Get it together, Julia. The state of being entirely naked save for an apron. A form of cosplay. The views from the front, rear, and sides all offer certain appeal, but caution must be advised, as it may be difficult to stop arguing about which presents the loveliest sight once the topic is raised. There are similar, more sexualized naked styles as well, such as the naked sock, the naked shoe, naked necktie, naked ribbon, naked scarf, naked collar, and so forth. Ah, I have been spooked. Oh boy. It is better than him turning cannibal, I guess. I could demonstrate if you like. Oh no, that is quite all right. Where'd you get the apron anyways? It's mine, sir. Have you had it with you this whole time? Yes, in here. With a smile, Kajiwara pointed to his pocket. Of course. Osawa eased himself. Oh, yes. No, I mean, tactical apron. Happy Halloween! Yes, indeed. Indeed. Very Halloween. Very Halloween. Let's be Nekomata. His hunger was making him feel weak, and Kajiwara was making him feel like he was losing his mind. Oh, this is bad. Detective said, I need to whip something up for you fast. Something's definitely wrong if you don't even have a comeback. Sawa felt his anxiety mounting. Just what sort of food was this insufferable oaf going to make anyway? Probably nothing worth eating was his bet. Ugh. For now, he just have to pray he wound up with something edible. I guess we're gonna try the other people's food. Kajiwara appeared in the refrigerator. Goodness, you are remarkably understocked, he said. Let's see, could you please put these in the dinger? Mr. Ozawa. Named for the sound a microwave oven makes when it finished heating your food. The microwave at my house doesn't really go ding when timer reaches 0, though. It's more just a beep. It doesn't make sense to call a microwave a beeper when it's already a word that refers to something else. Ooh, omurice would be great. Omurice is good. Omurice is really, really good. I'm gonna make omurice probably not tomorrow, but the next day. Definitely. Detective handed Osawa some frozen lumps of rice. A dinger? What the heck is a dinger? A microwave oven, sir. Osawa stepped in front of the microwave. Unfortunately, he had no idea how to work the controls. Oh my god, seriously? You should thaw that rice out as soon as possible. I don't know how to operate this thing. What? Because you don't know how to use a microwave? Osawa could only nod in sudden silent shame. It should be as simple as turning the dial. Wait, which one? That one, sir. The one on the right. Osawa turned the dial and crossed his arms with a satisfied grin. Mr. Osawa, you need to put the rice in first before you do that. Why didn't you say that? Osawa snapped. Never worked in a kitchen in my life. Don't ask me to do things that are this difficult. Oh my god. I have even more reasons to not like Osawa as a person. Very well, I'll handle this from here. Why don't you get the bowls and chopsticks then, sir? I don't know where those are kept. Kajiwara let out a heavy sigh. All right then, please just sit and wait, sir. Here, take this. Kajiwara pulled out a sheet of bubble wrap from his pocket. Use your fingers to pop the bubbles. Should help you calm down. Too drained to argue, Osawa did as prompted, starting to pop his way along the sheet. Rather than calm him down, though, it was making him incredibly cross. This felt more like a sort of ridiculous punishment. They say you can learn a lot about a household by looking in the fridge, you know. Kajiwara was cooking something in a frying pan. And? What have you learned about mine? Better not say, sir. You might take offense. Osawa snapped another bubble between his fingers. The rice has finished thawing. Kajiwara topped the steaming bowl of rice with a fried egg he'd whipped up in the pan. Then, as if it were an afterthought, he added some pickled vegetables. Here you are, sir. Your fried egg on rice is complete. That is extremely basic. That's tonkatsu is much better than that. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it is one of very easy. Very easy. Like, I thought we would, like, I mean, I guess he did need to get something fast, but still, like, he could have had tonkatsu. One of Kajiwara's simple recipes. Others include his white spaghetti, which is simply spaghetti that's been flavored with butter, salt, and pepper after it's been boiled. Both are a bit too basic to be properly called cuisine, but it does take a certain skill to bring the best flavor out of ingredients with such simple seasonings. Kajiwara grinned from ear to ear. Go ahead, eat it while it's still warm. Osawa received the bowl with a dubious look. You aren't very good at cooking, are you? All you had in your refrigerator were eggs and pickled... Oh. I guess that explains it. I assure you, it's quite delicious. I recommend breaking the yolk and mixing it all together. Reluctantly, Osawa brought a bite to his mouth. It's gonna be the best thing he's ever eaten, because he's eaten nothing. That's good. Words come out almost unbidden. Isn't it just egg yolk and pickled vegetables pair quite well? Osawa couldn't help but stuff his face, slipping into a rapturous daze as he did. The more he ate, the more it stirred his appetite. No idea fried eggs could be this delicious. It is a great photo. I know you probably have a long ordeal still ahead of you, sir, but please keep your chin up and hang in there. Kajiwara gave Osawa an amiable smile. That's right. For dessert, we have bananas. No thank you. Kajiwara grimaced as Osawa held up a hand in refusal. Right then, when you're finished eating, will you please wash the bowl? Me? Wash dishes? Oh, are you surprised? Kajiwara, are you even a little bit surprised? If he doesn't know how to use a microwave, there is no way he has ever put soap on a dish. Also, hello, Kira. If someone else cooks for you, you should do the cleaning up. It's only polite. Fine, okay. Osawa was doing the dishes. The bug detector went off again. Director, if you have a moment. Tanaka poked his head in the kitchen. I've got something urgent to discuss with you. Interesting. Okay. So either keep out, either keep out, either keep out, and I don't know what's going on here. Arriving at the demo. At long last, he arrived at the Nokune building where the event was being held. The wall by the elevator was plastered with posters about burning hammer. Okay, hold on. Crowd gazed at the stage. Beverage that allowed you to eat plenty and still lose weight was definitely an appetizing proposition. Could something like that really exist, though? Oh well. Norikawa was just gonna have to wait and see. He was missed to get his mind into journalism mode. Time passed, but the demo didn't start. Audience began grumbling in frustration. Then a heavy-set young woman took the stage and gave a little bow. The girl from the cafe, the one with the amazing appetite. The audience broke into applause, their patience finally rewarded. But as everyone leaned forward expectantly, the girl on stage began performing magic tricks. She twiddled a silk hat, then pulled out a bunch of flowers from inside it. Sparse applause rose up from the crowd. The young woman immediately went on to perform another trick, then another. Ta-da! A coin in her hand became 3 coins as she spoke her magic words. She's not very good at this, Norikawa thought. But whether she was good or bad wasn't really the issue. He had a tight schedule to keep. This was no time to stand around watching silly sleight of hand antics. Scanning the room, he spotted a man who looked like he was probably in charge. Norikawa headed over to him. Hey, you the one running this thing? Well, yes. When's the actual sales demo going to start? Soon. Very soon. Yep. How many minutes? You know, soon. I asked for a number. Just, soon, real soon. This was getting him nowhere. 3 minutes, Norikawa declared. He held up 3 fingers to emphasize his point. If this thing doesn't start in 3 minutes, if it doesn't start, then what? He could be heartbroken. I'm gonna start a ruckus. He kept his voice firm, his words short and clipped. Hey now, no need for that, sir. Just settle down. Who doesn't like a silly little magic show now and then? You got 2 minutes. Hey, a minute can't have passed already. 1 minute. Whoa, just what kind of watch you got there? Tell me why this demo isn't starting. No real reason really. I was getting seriously flustered. I just, wanted folks to get to see a little magic show first. Hey, no need to act like a YouTube content creator, sir. Nope, try again. 30 seconds left. Okay, alright. What happened is, the required merchandise is... What happened to the merchandise? Norikawa demanded. He gave the guy a dagger stare. It's just, Time's up. What? The man's face went pale. Yes. The eggplant, dude. Wait, what eggplant, dude? Keep out, either keep out. Okay, hold on. There's a jump here. Then... I passed by the man I noticed earlier. Okay, nope. Too late. I think there's an earlier jump, though. An unfamiliar man. Oops, sorry to keep you waiting. You're late! Oh! Asubi. Oh, I see. Stuck in a room. Wait. Really? That was the one? He was the guy stuck in the room? Oh, that's crazy. Man, I do not recognize. All right, got the keep out open. Oops, sorry to keep you waiting, a girlish voice exclaimed. A moment later, a furry figure came charging into the demo room. The crowd fell silent at the sight of a young woman in a cat costume. The cat girl panted visibly. Her arms were loaded with cardboard boxes. You're late, the event organizer snapped. What the heck have you been doing? Grabbing the newcomer by one paw, he vanished with her into the back room. The chubby-cheeked girl wrapped up her magic routine and hurried after them. The audience stared at the now empty stage in confusion. Several minutes passed before the organizer reappeared. Ladies, terribly sorry to have kept you waiting, called out, but now I'm proud to introduce you the worldwide sensation, that is, Burning Hammer! At his signal, the young woman and the cat appeared on stage. Allow us to explain just how this revolutionary new diet drink works. It's magic. The cat nodded and threw out her arms. The first time in human history, you can drink a single bottle and lose a whole kilogram. Just drink and burn that excess weight away. With that, the sales demo was underway, a good 25 minutes behind schedule. Wild story, really? Oh my gosh. I feel like I know just a little bit about this. I feel like I watched a little bit of a YouTube video about this and then got distracted and watched something else. So maybe I should take a look at that again. And 5 minutes into the presentation, things began to go awry. An angry clamor filled the room. What the heck are you trying to pull? Can't believe you actually tried to sell us something like this. The outrage had been triggered by something the young woman had said on stage. She'd inadvertently let it slip that Burning Hammer was the sort of thing you could buy at a 100-yen shop. The would-be customers were furious to learn that they were about to be played for suckers. Most of them had immediately tried to storm out of the room. Now the organizer, the full-figured young woman, and the girl in the cat costume were at the door, doing their best to hold back the tide. Things had gotten pretty interesting, really. Minorikawa pulled out his digital camera and started firing off snapshots of the angry crowd. Digital camera. Some modern digital cameras come with the remarkable ability to automatically trigger the shutter when the subject smiles. The function also works if the camera is presented with a TV or photo of someone smiling, or even cases of cameras recognizing faces in the wood grain of ceiling. After all, if we can make out the faces in the wood when we're gazing lazily up the ceiling, we can't fault the camera for doing the same. Fortunately, their frenzy was so intense that he was soon caught up with the flow and pushed out of the room. Fine, I guess I'll just need to do some interviews instead of getting pictures. Excuse me, he asked from the woman, would you mind if I asked you some? Shut your mouth! Oh my gosh. Would you mind telling me a little about, don't you talk to me! Okay, I get a word on unbelievable, just unbelievable! We were so enraged that Minorikawa couldn't get a word in. Before long, the entire crowd had surged out of the room and disappeared. Oh well, guess I've got enough to do a write-up at least. Though it'd be nice to get a quote from somebody. He decided to try for an interview with the man who'd organized this fiasco. How'd this guy feel, for instance, about his product scam falling through? Heading back to the event room, Minorikawa passed by the cat mascot. Ooh, a jump! But does it help me? Oh, it does! It opens to keep out. Or does it? Give him a faint nod. Okay. Keep my fingers crossed with the guy. guess it's not gonna actually free me from here. It's just a possible jump. Seeing Minorikawa getting trampled is like, yeah, a little, yeah. I mean, we get it off, but I don't think it cleared the keep out. Let me just pull off. Let me just, yeah, it's still keep out. Okay, let's just go back here. We can just jump for some reason. He couldn't see the face of the girl inside the costume, but she seemed genuinely dejected that Burning Hammer had been a bust. Hey, I'm Minoru Minorikawa, a freelance reporter. I was wondering if I could have 5 minutes of your time. The organizer sat alone in the midst of his ruined displays. Oh, it's you. The man's voice had lost all of its earlier punch. Here, my credentials. Minorikawa handed him a business card. The man introduced himself as Yanagashita, and Minorikawa got right down to business. So your sales demo is over, Mr. Yanagashita. How do you feel right now? How do I feel? Well, tomorrow's another day, I guess. Minorikawa was impressed by the guy's candor. I'm a little surprised to hear that, he said. I figured you'd be more disappointed. Oh, I'm plenty disappointed. I took a big gamble here to repay my debts, and I lost. Yanagashita didn't seem to be trying to hide anything. Debts? Minorikawa asked. There was a girl I was in love with, Yanagashita said. I wound up spending everything on her. He stared wistfully into the distance. Ah, interesting. You wouldn't be the first man to go to such lengths for a woman. Yeah, Yanagashita said. I suppose not. A rueful smile crossed his lips. Yes. Spammer has been deleted. Thank you. This guy didn't strike Minorikawa as someone dyed-in-the-wool scam artist. I decided it was time to stop feeling sorry for myself, Yanagashita went on. There are plenty of people in the world who have it way worse, you know? You got that right, Minorikawa nodded in agreement. So I just figure, well, as long as I'm still alive, maybe another opportunity will come my way. A more earnest smile broke through Yanagashita's forlorn expression. Minorikawa wished Toyama could have been there to hear this fellow. I have a friend who's in an incredible amount of debt myself, Minorikawa said. He runs a publishing company, but there was a big mix-up with scratch cards in the magazine and scratch cards. It's not important, Minorikawa said hurriedly. Letting more people know about the whole scratch card fiasco certainly wouldn't do Toyama any favors. Anyway, debt is a terrible thing, Minorikawa nodded sagely. Oh, by the way, this is unrelated, but are you familiar with a group called SOS? Apparently there's some legendary street gang here in Shibuya. SOS? I guess she just shook his head. Nope, never heard of him. Guess I'm not gonna get any leads on that case here. Minorikawa wondered if there was anything else worth asking this guy. Maybe Yanagashita would be willing to take his Shibuya Now survey. Taking a little bit of the burden off Chiaki seemed like a good idea. I have another question. How do you feel about your life right now? Huh? How do you feel about your life? Your products aren't selling, you can't repay your debts, yet you still refuse to give up, believing opportunity will come your way. How do you feel about all that? Yanagashita paused and thought. I'd say I'm a pretty lucky guy. Minorikawa was taken somewhat aback by the response. I haven't been able to sell any Burning Hammer, and sure I can't pay off my debts, but even so. Yanagashita looked Minorikawa right in the eye. The two cute young girls I've got working for me have stuck with me through thick and thin. Sometimes, maybe you just need to be content with something like that, you know? That was refreshingly forthright. Minorikawa was surprised. I mean, so what if I got debts? Yanagashita went on. In the long run, none of that matters. Not really. There's a knock at the door. Oh, excuse me a minute, Yanagashita said. I wonder who that could be. He opened the door and his face froze. Damn. Wasn't quite quick enough. Mr. Minorikawa? Yes. You'll have to pardon me. I've had a little something crop up here, so if you don't mind. Oh, sure, not a problem. Got other interviews to get to anyway, so I'll just... But Yanagashita was out the door before Minorikawa could even finish. Stepping out in the hallway, Minorikawa could faintly hear voices from the adjoining demo room. It sounded like Mr. Yanagashita and two other men. Minorikawa couldn't make out any words, but he could tell they were arguing about something. There's probably some consumer complaint against one of his products, or an issue with the client company. Something along those lines. Man, people who run companies sure have it rough. You hang in there, Mr. Yanagashita. I feel like he's getting beat up in the other room. Oh, perfect timing. Norikawa stopped short as a familiar voice called out to him. It was the man he'd spoken to earlier about the surveillance cameras. Hey, come here for a sec. The man waved him over. What is it? I'm busy right now. I got a scoop for you. Saw it with my own eyes. Norikawa raised an eyebrow. Give me the deets. Okay, so just a little while ago, I saw some foreign guy in handcuffs arguing with someone who looked like a detective. Foreigner in handcuffs? Had there been some kind of international sting or something? Whatever the case, it wasn't such a rare thing to see. Or was this? Just over there, behind the police station. Norikawa furrowed his brow. The suspect arguing with the cop outside a police station wasn't all that weird. Still, he had a feeling he was missing something here. The big thing's what happened afterwards, the man said. Afterward? The man leaned in conspiratorially. The detective undid the guy's handcuffs and let him run off. Well, what? I'm telling you, man, it had to have been like a bribe or something. A bribe? Seemed unlikely. I swear that's what it had to be. There was some wheel greasing going on. You're not making this all up, are you? Norikawa asked. He regarded the man coldly, but the guy seemed quite legitimately worked up. It's all true. Please, you have to report this to police right away. Why do I have to? Norikawa asked. If you have a tip for the police, go give it yourself. He didn't quite manage to stop himself from saying that out loud. No, I can't. I'm no good when it comes to police. Plus, they're never going to believe someone like me. Okay, maybe you had a point there, but you're some world-class reporter, right? Cops will totally take your word over that of a random nobody. Norikawa didn't have time to debate the point. It was easier just to make the call. He phoned the police to leave the tip. The men bowed repeatedly, looking pretty grateful. Thank you so much. Haven't been able to get any business done with those scary thugs around. What thugs? What kind of line of business are you in anyway? Huh? Man suddenly went pale. Whoops, gotta get going. He skittered off in alarm. Norikawa was left to wonder what this guy's line of work actually was. He had more important things to worry about at the moment. He hurried off in the other direction. Before long, he arrived back at Café La Tresse. The clock on the wall showed it was close to 2 o'clock. He had to somehow fill 6 more pages before the loan company came to Heaven Publishing to collect. He booted up his laptop. What's with this coffee shop, he said in a low, stern voice. Oh, good magazines in here. Harlow looked up. An older man was complaining to one of the waitresses. It was the same guy who'd been yelling at his daughter earlier. Evidently, they'd been in this cafe this whole time. Haven't you got any magazines for me to read? The man's face was a mask of irritation. Norikawa glanced at the magazines in the rack. They were mostly geared towards a younger reader. The waitress sifted through the stacks and pulled something from the back. Perhaps this would be to your liking, sir? She held out an issue of 4-star general gossip. Don't be ridiculous, the man spat dismissively. This is vulgar, low-grade filth. Wouldn't even use the paper it's printed on for compost. That was a harsh way to put it, but Norikawa couldn't fault him for speaking the truth. The man continued grumbling as he went back to his seat. Norikawa headed over to the magazine rack and picked up the gossip. He opened the front cover and found the scratch card still inserted within. If these things were still out there, it was bad news. Toyama might end up even further in debt. Ah! Norikawa yanked the scratch card out and tore it to bits. Sir, what are you doing? The waitress rushed to stop him, only for the pieces to rain down on her like confetti. The magazine itself is still perfectly readable. There's no problem here. He strode back to his seat and gazed at the laptop screen. Still hadn't finished booting up. In the meantime, he decided to give Chiaki a call. She picked up right away. Hello? Mr. Norikawa asked. Hi there, good to hear from you, Chiaki replied. How's progress? I did it, Chiaki said, her voice overcome with emotion. I managed to get people to hear me out. Of course you did. You got your pointers from me. Yes, I couldn't have done it without you, Mr. Mino. Her mood had done a complete 180. Norikawa allowed himself a little sigh of relief. Okay then, head back to the editing department and put together an article for me. You got it, sir, Chiaki chirped in reply. I'll email you as soon as I'm done with things on my end, Norikawa said. Just use the DDP to slot your piece in the right spot on the layout. Abbreviation for desktop publishing refers to the process of editing a manuscript layout on a computer preparatory to send to the printer. Also used to refer to the software used to create such layouts. Creating layout data that's ready for printing but has not actually been printed yet is also sometimes called DDP. Sure thing. Norikawa hung up, then rolled up his sleeves. He sure was towing a pretty narrow line today. The Burning Hammer event had kept him a little longer than anticipated. Now he needed to clean up his coffee as soon as possible in order to stick to his schedule. When he turned back towards his laptop, however, he froze with shock. What? His laptop monitor was still a black, empty screen. There's no way it would take this long to finish booting up. Oh, it couldn't be. Oh, don't let it be true. His computer decided big now, of all times, to give up the ghost. Minorikawa felt the blood drain from his face. I think you just need to plug it in, my guy. I'm pretty sure it's just its battery. Right? PCs don't just die. If it doesn't boot up, it probably is out of power. Is there any other? Is there a jump up here? Oh, there is some. No, that's before. We only care about things 13 and onward. Kind of traffic ruckus. Okay, there's a jump here. Let's check it. Okay, hold on. It's here. Gosh, having to press X so many times. Got him. As luck would have had it, they soon found a crowd in their path and backs turned towards them. Excited voices rose up from the throng. Whoa, what's the deal? Oh my gosh, I like how in the side over here, on the right, like right under me, is the two guys that are looking for, not for Yanagashita, for Toyama, those debt collectors. It's a street fight. A fight, as the name implies, that takes place on the street, usually with using bare hands and no weapons. Even a bare-handed fight can result in serious injuries, though, which is why they're pretty illegal. Hachi clutched Hitomi's hand good and tight. Whatever you do, don't let go. Without a moment's hesitation, he plowed his way through the crowd. Emerging on the far side of the gathering, Hachi saw the main road ahead. Cars were zipping past in a steady stream. What do we do? There were too many cars from the rush across the street without getting hit. They couldn't exactly just sit and wait for the light to change, and they couldn't go back the way they came. Pursuers were getting closer and closer. Hitomi! We're going across. What? Dragging Hitomi by the hand, Hachi darted out into the street. Moving purely by instinct, he wove his ways in the gaps between the speeding cars. When they were halfway across, a car slammed its brakes to keep from hitting them, causing several cars behind it to crash into one another. A multi-vehicle pileup plunged the roadway into total chaos. Total chaos. Ooh, look, a jump. As a result of this chaos, traffic in the nearby area will be at a standstill for a while on their way to a syndicate hideout. Shinya Kanyo and Jack Stanley have gotten caught in the traffic jam. Oh no! Let's fix this. Well, well, well. Looks like we're gonna have a bit of a kerfuffle on the way there. The car moved at a glacial pace towards the crime syndicate's hangout. Stanley pounded his fist on the steering wheel in frustration. They had no sooner set out than the traffic slowed to a near standstill. Despite the occasional lurch, it never crept above a crawl. Kind of stewed in the passenger seat, the case was rapidly getting out of hand. Now he had to worry about the safety of both Maria and her sister Hitomi. Never mind the fact that Detective Tateno had also gone missing. There were too many unknowns, too many uncertainties. His unease was growing unbearable. Also, Tateno hasn't radioed in, and, like, we We can't reach him from our end either. Kuze's words kept echoing inside Kano's head. What could have caused Tateno to drop out of contact? Someone had gone after Hitomi while Kano and the others were busy tailing the attaché case. Could Tateno have been... No, it couldn't be. Kano was sure that Tateno would have done whatever was necessary to keep Hitomi safe. Stanley broke the long silence. What's on your mind? Still thinking about that call from Kuze? Kano didn't answer. Look, if you're worried about that other detective, that guy couldn't even protect one girl. Stanley continued. Not exactly a ringing endorsement. Don't you talk about Detective Tateno that way. I'm concerned about Hitomi Osawa, but the missing attaché case needs to come first. Stanley's expression remained stone cold. Kano flashed him a sidelong glare, then went back to staring out the window. A moment later, a flurry of motion in a nearby alley caught his eye. At the start, he recognized Sasayama. His fellow detective was caught up in an altercation with the man in dark clothes. Kano sprung into action, his body moving almost before his mind registered the situation. Sasayama! Putting the door open, he leapt out of the car. Hey, wait! Stanley called after him. Kano was already sprinting towards the fight. Oof! The other man knocked Sasayama into a pile of garbage. Sasayama struggled to get back to his feet. His opponent looked down at him with a triumphant sneer. Kano finally got a good look at the man, and his eyes flashed with recognition. It was the perp who'd taken the first attaché case back at the Scramble, Tariq al-Karavan. You! Oh, that's an intense photo. Oh, that's incredible. Terrifying. He sped like a bullet to tackle al-Karavan around the legs. Karawan was nimbly stepped aside. Kano's arms closed in on nothing but air. At the same moment, Karawan deftly wrapped an arm around, straight up guillotined, around Kano's neck. Kano felt a vice-like pressure on his carotid artery. A move known as the front choke sleeper hold, guillotine, also known as guillotine choke, constricting the carotid artery stops blood flow to the brain, causing the opponent to lose consciousness. Is a fun one. Is my favorite move. His consciousness quickly began to slip away. No, you didn't, you bastard. Lowering his center of gravity, he got hold of one of Al-Karawan's legs and used his shoulder as a fulcrum against it. Despite the arm still crushing his neck, Kano managed to lift his opponent high into the air. He continued the movement to have Al-Karawan up and over himself, slamming him upside down into the heap of trash. That's badass. Stanley strolled up to the aftermath of the struggle. Well, you've got the brawn part down, he said. Need to do some work on the brains. Al-Karawan was sprawled out atop the mound of refuse. He'd been knocked out cold. Sasayama coughed and sputtered. Kano went to help him to his feet, but Stanley stepped in between them. What are you doing? Stanley asked. Helping Sasayama. What does it look like? We need to apprehend Al-Karawan first. He's not even conscious. Sasayama can come first. He pushed Stanley aside and crouched down alongside his partner. You all right? He asked. Yeah, Sasayama groaned. You bailing me out, though? Can't let the missus know about that. Mum's the word, Kano said. He slipped an arm underneath Sasayama and helped him to his feet. Committed big sleepy. Oh, yes. So many Linux distros. Well, I mean, listen, if you're having a fun time, though, if you're down the rabbit hole, you got to enjoy it while you're there, right? Managed to find the guy who had the attaché case, but when I tried to arrest him, this fella came out of nowhere and attacked me. Flashed Al-Karawan a nasty look. So here we are again, disobeying direct orders, Stanley huffed. What's the deal with the Japanese police anyway? He shook his head in exasperation. Sasayama gave Kano a puzzled look, jerking his thumb at the American. Who's this guy? Long story, Kano said. He filled Sasayama in on the situation. Enough chit-chat. Hurry up and cuff this guy. Kano knelt down by Al-Karawan's unconscious body, flipped him over, and proceeded to cuff his hands behind his back. Kano paused. Al-Karawan's sleeve had slid back from his wrist. What's this? Skrillex. The unconscious man had a tattoo of a two-headed scorpion on his left forearm. Stanley strode over. Find something? I think this guy might be the ringleader. Seeing the image had reminded Kano of something he'd heard back at headquarters, that the head of the foreign syndicate had a scorpion tattoo. He relayed this information to Stanley. Let's see. Stanley called up Kuze on his cell. He'd be happy to know the guy with the attaché case is still at large. Apprehending the ringleader at this point shouldn't be an issue. One of your so very capable subordinates gave us a big step forward in this case here. Wait a second. That was sarcasm, wasn't it? Stanley hung up and called over to him. Think you can escort this guy back to the precinct? Yeah, sure, seeing how very capable I am. Kano felt his phone vibrate. The display showed an incoming call from Rumi. Hello? He answered warily, keeping his voice down. Stanley had him a little on edge. It's me. Oh, Shizuo. Just sneeze. Sneeze complete. Damn it. Kind of thought he did not have time for this right now, but if he just hung up, he might be in even deeper hot water. Oh, I decided he'd better listen to what the old man had to say. Hello, sir. I'm afraid I'm not really at liberty to take a personal call right now, even if it is for my father-in-law. He did his best to sound apologetic. I'm not your father-in-law. Yes, of course. Sorry, sir. He bowed his head reflexively, feeling like an idiot. You really don't give a damn about keeping me waiting like this, do you? Sir, I swear to you, I feel terrible. Please just... Flustered, he took a deep breath and recomposed himself. I promise you, sir. I promise I'll be there. If you could just wait a little while. Don't make me promises you can't keep. Shizuo's barking rebuke made Kano break out in a sweat. You think I'm gonna let you off the hook just because you're working a case? This is exactly why I don't want my daughter with some detective. Great, another angry tirade. But didn't you used to be a detective, sir? Kano muttered. You watch yourself, you little brat. It's not enough that you keep calling me your father-in-law. Now you have to bring that up? Evidently, Kano had touched a raw nerve. Ever have a dentist hit a nerve while drilling a tooth? That's where the expression comes from. Seems like anything he said had only made matters worse. I'm just still thinking, okay, but like, if you're getting drilled in the tooth, wouldn't you have, I don't know, anesthesia? Like, just the local anesthesia, like a shot to make it numb, like that always happens. Well, you're not off the hook, Shizuo continued. I am never letting my daughter marry the likes of you. His fury hitting its crescendo, Shizuo promptly hung up. Why on earth did Shizuo hold such intense malice towards police detectives when he'd been one himself? Probably because he's been one himself. Kano had become a detective for Rumi's sake in the first place. Now's the biggest thing holding him back. Come on, let's go. Stanley's voice snapped Kano out of his daze. Grimly, he followed the American back to the car. That doesn't help. Oh, true. So they get deeper alongside the root and drill into the jaw. That's true. If they're all the way down in the nerve, I think it's full-on root canal time, right? Yet again, Stanley was thumping the steering wheel in frustration. Traffic hadn't lit up one bit. It was starting to look like they might never make it to the foreign syndicate's hideout. Kano caught sight of a girl in a hoodie weaving her way between the stopped cars on foot. Rolled down the window and called out to her. Miku Morita was a fighter at the cosplay fighting pub Bride, but decided to just retire after losing to Tama, the cat, in a street fight. She's thinking about what to do with herself now. Excuse me, miss, did something happen? Huh? What do you mean? The road, I mean. So with all the traffic. Oh, right. Apparently there was some big accident by the train station. That's probably what's causing it. Really? Yeah, I don't think you guys are going to be going anywhere for quite a while. She smiled and went on her way. Stanley gave the steering wheel another punch. Well, I guess they did say this wasn't just some typical ransom case, he muttered. Kind of saw an opportunity. If they're not after the money, then what are they after? Stanley kept his eyes forward, acting as if he hadn't heard. Look, can't help you if you're going to keep me out of the loop. After a few moments of thought, Stanley replied with a single monosyllable. Drugs. Okay. Understood. What? Maria's father, Kenji Osawa. I assume you're aware he works for, those kind of drugs. Okoshi Pharmaceutical. I am. Nothing's been made public yet, but Osawa recently oversaw the development of a new drug. It's not all that uncommon for a new drug to be in development for 15 years or more, with expenses totaling 20 to 30 billion yen, roughly 200 to 300 million US dollars, before it is approved. Worldwide demand, oh yeah, they did the same, like, divide by 100 thing, okay. Worldwide demand and sensational profits can be expected if a groundbreaking medicine is developed. Nonetheless, pharmaceutical companies are often under major pressure due to the tremendous cost of labor and equipment. And someone's trying to get their hands on it. Kano's mind lashed on this new information, trying to assemble the pieces of an evolving puzzle. Someone? Who? An international criminal mastermind. This foreign syndicate's merely a tool in someone else's game. Kano regarded Stanley's face carefully. He looked more cold and serious than ever. So wait, does that mean the reason we're letting this syndicate walk around unfettered? It's on my orders, yes. I see. The only thing you're really concerned with is catching this international mastermind? Just copyright strike them. Yeah, obviously. Perfect. Just copyrights. That'll definitely stop other countries from developing drugs, for sure. Kano felt like he was starting to get a picture of what sort of person Stanley was. So you don't really care what happens to the girl who's been abducted, do you? Not particularly, no. Why? Do you have a problem with that? Kano clenched his fist. His hand was shaking with anger. That is Japanese. Dick dictum number 8. When you really want to punch something, you really probably shouldn't. Very true. Kano recited the words inwardly, like some kind of desperate mantra. If he didn't manage to calm himself down, he was liable to slam his fist right into Stanley's face. Outside the car, the traffic remained at a standstill. Kano chafed against the feeling of utter futility. One after another, his uncertainties came to nag at him. Was Maria still safe? What had happened to Hitomi and Tateno, his bodyguard? And now, on top of all this, it struck Kano as rather careless to send Sasayama away with Al Karawan without any backup, now that Jack had alerted him to the presence of a dangerous international mastermind still on the loose. Fighting back his fit of pique, to do something impulsively out of irritation, resentment, or the like, similar to doing something in a huff. That's the only one I've heard. I've never heard a fit of pique. Weird. Dialed up Sasayama. Oh, let's dial up Kajiwara. Dialed up Detective Kajiwara, who was stationed at the Osawa residence. Hoped a little more information about the family's 2 daughters might shed some light on the situation. That feels like that might lead to a jump. Right? Pique your interest, but not fit of pique. Exactly. Like, what is pique in that case? Detective answered promptly. Kajiwara here. Hey, it's Kano. Kano? A horrid, jarring beeping was audible from the other end of the line. What's that noise? Kano asked. Sorry, hold on. I can't really hear you. Okay, go on. It felt like Kajiwara had moved away from the source of the noise, though Kano could still hear it faintly in the background. He explained he was looking for more information on the Osawa girls. Honestly, Detective Kano, I thought you were more mature than this, Kajiwara said disapprovingly. Him again? Kano said bewildered. What's with the attitude all of a sudden? You've got a little crush, don't you? Kajiwara told him. What? No, Detective, that isn't why. You mustn't let yourself get personally attached to an investigation. Still, I was young and impulsive myself once. I guess I could tell you one thing. Kano kept his cell phone pressed tight against his ear. 2 girls? They look exactly alike. Kajiwara kept his voice low, as if he were revealing a major secret. Kano knew this already. Everyone assigned to the investigation knew that the girls were twins at the previous night's briefing. However, Kajiwara continued, still sotobose. Their personalities are pretty different. The younger sister, Hitomi, is quiet and reserved. Maria is apparently more of a busybody. I see. Kano thought back on Hitomi, standing in front of the statue of Hachiko. She indeed seemed like an introvert, though Kano had also sensed intense commitment to helping her sister. Perhaps she was less demonstrative, but her heart certainly seemed to be in the right place. Why? Kano heard someone shouting in the background wherever Kajiwara was. What was that just now? Mr. Osawa, the girl's father, I think something might have happened. Kajiwara's voice was laced with concern. I should go see what this is all about. Yeah, probably. But Kano, tell me. Yes. Which one is it? Which one do you have a crush on? Kano hung up. Kajiwara is just super weird. At long last, traffic began to move again. Almost as soon as it did, however, Stanley had to slam on the brakes. The abrupt stop made Kano smack his head against the windshield. Ooh, pain. Is the image dark? Because I know you can do it from here, but you have to click on the... Okay, it's a little dark. Okay, then we'll increase the brightness just a little bit. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, you have to just push the bumper and it unlocks the brightness setting. Hey, what gives? Look, Stanley said. He gestured with his chin. Kano couldn't believe his eyes. There, walking along the sidewalk ahead, was Al-Karwan, very much not in custody. What the hell? Kano shouted, already hopping out of the car. Stanley was right behind him. They crept on their target silently as possible, then rushed him once they were close. In a moment, they had subdued him. Kano used his own body weight to hold Al-Karwan down. What are you doing out here? He demanded. Oh, hey, guess you didn't get the memo, huh? Al-Karwan flashed a coy grin. They let me go. Let you go? I think your buddy here might have hearing problems, Al-Karwan said to Stanley. I'm a free man. Kano turned and glared at Stanley. What is he talking about? No idea. First things first, get this guy back to the precinct. I'll head to the syndicate hangout by myself. You don't think this is weird? Kano asked. I mean, what the heck is this guy doing on the loose again? What matters is that he is free. Maybe he's telling the truth about being let go. That's ridiculous. And I guess he must have escaped on his own, Stanley replied. In either case, your buddy screwed up royally. Now it's on you to unscrew things. None of this sat right with Kano, but the fact remained he couldn't just let Al-Karwan go. He gave Stanley detailed directions to the hangout, and the car sped away towards Yoyogi. Then Kano headed back to the precinct with his captive, trying to reassure himself that he might learn something from questioning Al-Karwan that helped him resolve the case. It does feel wrong. It feels wrong. Yeah, it might have been the event making it darker, but who knows? Kind of sat opposite Al-Karwan in the interrogation room. He had been attempting to interview the suspect for about a quarter of an hour. Al-Karwan sat rimrod stiff, not responding to any prompts or questions. What time is it right now? He asked. He'd taken away his watch, his wallet, small knife, and keychain. It was the third time he asked to know the time. Why are you so concerned with what time it is? Karwan gave no reply. Are you waiting on something? Again, the suspect was staunchly silent. I wasn't sure what to make of this, but he took a look at his watch. It's around 2 o'clock. He said, what time exactly? It's 2:18. And how many seconds? Look, just cut the crap. Kano grabbed the prisoner by the collar. The hell are you people after? Karwan merely repeated the question. What time is it right now? A growl of aggregation, Kano shoved his wristwatch in Al-Karwan's face. Ah, it's 2:20. Okay then, that should do it. What? What does that mean? The interrogation went on for several more hours. Despite Kano's best efforts, Al-Karwan said nothing more. During all that time, Kano, apparently should never interrogate anyone because he gets stuck there forever. He's really bad at it. The case continued to develop in unexpected ways, but Kano, stuck in the interrogation room, knew nothing about it until everything was already over and done. I guess we'll look at the hint, but I guess I need to call the other guy instead. Kano performed admirably in recapturing Tariq Al-Karwan. Ironically, his action actually disrupted the investigation. Maybe letting the syndicate run free for the time being was the right call. Someone can do something at 1340 that throws or runs into Kano's activities thanks to the involvement of unrelated parties. Kano's reaction will make the investigation play out differently. Okay, so someone else has to do a thing. 1340. I guess we'll see what happens here. Multi-vehicle pileup. 30 hours into interrogated chill, he give you that look. Oh my god. Oh god. That's an image. You're right. Yep. That was crazy. Hitomi panted as she caught her breath. Well, you know what they say. Idle feet are the devil's playthings. It's hands. It's idle hands. Whatever, at least they got away. I'm just imagining the devil being like, and just tickling your feet. Like, are your feet idle? Come on, let's go. Achi led the way down several twisting side streets before slowing his pace. By now, Hitomi was slumped and panting heavily. He wanted to give her some time to rest, but if they just hung around, their pursuers might still find them. He looked around and spotted a multi-tenant building. The nearest door was open. Bundles of flyers were set out near the entrance. Oh, we gotta go back. We have to read all the things. You never know. You never know when there's gonna be, you know, a jump. Flyers for there's nothing here. But hey, never know. Gotta wrap the blankets around your feet. Exactly. That is exactly why you have to keep your feet under the blankets. Very important. Flyers for Au revoir. The 20-second performance by the theater troupe The Wandering Angels tells the tale of a man named Ryu looking back on his 100-year life as a warrior. The performance features wire action as its major set piece, with Ryu and his rival Shido flying high through the air, doing battle with the magical Muramasa blade and beam saber, respectively. Achi peeked inside and saw piles of plywood and painted lumber. Looks like this was a storeroom for the theater's stage props and scenery. Hide out in here, he said. But... Hitomi hesitated, and Achi gave her hand a little tug. It'll be fine, there's nobody around. They stepped inside the storeroom, and Achi quickly shut the door behind him. We should probably rest for a bit, he said. There was a wooden platform set up behind a large piece of plywood. Achi picked up a magazine that had fallen on the floor, spread it atop the platform's dusty surface. Here, now you can sit without getting your clothes dirty. Thank you. Hitomi quietly took a seat. We should probably turn off our cell phones. It could be really bad if they rang at the wrong moment. The two powered off their phones. Achi took a cursory look around. It didn't seem like there was any way in or out beside the door they came through. There was a single window set in the wall, but it wouldn't open far enough to let them out. Let them through. Oh, Jesus, hello. Ah! Hitomi let out a quiet gasp. Someone was outside the storeroom. Achi put a finger to his lips, and Hitomi gave a fearful nod. The window's frosted glass blocked any real view in or out. So long as they stayed quiet, they ought to be safe. Oh, jeez! Whoever was outside pressed their face to the frosted glass, trying to get a glimpse inside. The blurry visage of the foreigner who'd been attacked them was dimly visible. Like the man with the cane before him, this guy was quick to catch up. The man pounded on the glass. Right? The straight-up zombie stuff. Achi swallowed the lump in his throat. If this guy got in, they had nowhere to run. Achi turned to Hitomi. Be fine, just sit tight. Hitomi clutched onto Achi's arm, hard. Can I help you with something? Said a casual voice from outside. He saw their pursuer react at once, pulling back from the window. It's just our storeroom, you know, the voice added. Achi heard footsteps scampering away. The kidnapper had run off. Achi exchanged glances with Hitomi and let out a tiny sigh. There were more voices coming from outside now. What's up with that guy? I don't know. Whatever. Let's just hurry and get stuff tidied up. Man, my throat's raw. Sounded like a conversation between two men. The storeroom door opened and the men clumped their way inside. Okay, hold on. So, this is... Okay, we're nowhere near 1340 yet. Sorry, I know. I have to do it again from here. I needed to know what part we're at. They saw their pursuer react at once, pulling back from the window. Okay, yep. That's the thing. Yes. The men. Tomonari Takaya and Taro Toga, 2 members of the theater troupe, The Wandering Angels. Takaya, the Wandering Angels star actor, playing the lead role of Ryu in today's performance of Au revoir, the troupe's 22nd piece. Last night, he slept completely naked and caught a cold, leading to the sore throat he has now. Toga is the stage director, handling things behind the scenes. He's very irritated that Shinichi Bando, in charge of the props, seems to have gone AWOL. So, what are we getting? Ugh. Let's grab all these folding chairs over there. The producer said we're going to need a lot more seats all of a sudden. Mr. Aurai said that. Going all out for the troops' last hurrah, huh? Beats me, man. In no real hurry, the men went about carting the folding chairs away. They didn't notice Achi and Hitomi sitting silently in the shadows. Not to change the subject, but how come we're using a dry ice machine and not a smoke machine? Maybe that's why my throat's bothering me? Yeah, it's pretty weird. No one's even operating it, and it's still drawing a ton of power. Think it's defective? Achi and Hitomi waited for the 2 men to finish up. If they were spotted, it would probably cause a scene, and worse still, might alert the men who were hunting them. Once they'd carried off the rest of the folding chairs, the men closed the storeroom door. The foreigner could still be somewhere nearby, though, so Achi decided they should hide out just a little longer. Oh, it does seem important. I think there's something in there. Maybe it's drugs. This blows. I want to get back out there to look for the blue van ASAP, but Achi trailed off as something occurred to him. Wait a second. That's weird. Sumi looked at him inquiringly. The kidnappers already have the ransom money, yeah? That's right. And then they told you your sister was in some blue minivan. Isn't that kind of weird? What do you mean? Did you figure your sister was in the minivan by herself? Well, yes. If one of the kidnappers were with her, they wouldn't need to send me to go get her. Right. And yet the fact was that as soon as the kidnappers had their money, they could have just let Hitomi's sister out of the vehicle and just run off. There was no point in sending Hitomi to fetch her personally. A look of revelation dawned on Hitomi's face. Oh! The minivan had already left Togenzaka, she said. It came back while we were waiting for it. He thought back to his earlier run-in with the blue vehicle. So then inside the minivan, there had been a bunch of foreigners inside, which meant both things. They've been trying to ambush her and they don't have any intention of giving the sister back. The kidnappers didn't have any intention of giving her sister back. The more Achi thought about it, the less sense it made for them to send Hitomi to get her. To be some other reason they wanted Hitomi to go in that minivan, but for what? Do you think they were trying to kidnap me too? That's it. She clapped his hands together. Then they let your sister go and demanded ransom for you. They make her deliver the ransom money for your release, and they'd be able to get, like, infinite ransom monies by constantly abducting one twin after the other. That seems a little far-fetched, right? He was... Oh, this precious himbo, he was going in the right direction, right up until he wasn't. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. As she said so, Achi realized it was kind of a ridiculous idea. Still, what if the kidnappers really were trying to kidnap me? Hitomi said. Like, what if they accidentally abducted the wrong twin? I guess that would have been pretty easy to botch up. That would imply that they wanted me specifically, not my sister. Hitomi briefly paused and thought. Maybe you're hotter than your sister or something? Achi suggested with enthusiasm. Hitomi shook her head. I can't be it. If anything, it's the other way around. Compared to my sister, I'm just... Whoa, hey, stop right there. Achi had to interrupt her. You're not just anything. Please don't. I'm just... Tears had welled up into Tomi's eyes. Why did this have to happen to her? Why not me? Whoa, hey, come on, don't cry. Sorry. Cheer up. It's like that song says. Don't just stand there. Wipe those tears away. That one. You know it? Is that Aya Kamiki? Yeah, that's the one. Put your hand in mine. Every single bee's a light. Huh? You know, every single bee's a light. Sammy let out a giggle. Everything will be all right. You got the lyrics wrong. It's everything will be all right. Yeah. Right. Yes, I guess that makes more sense. I guess. She's mouth curled into a sheepish smile. No, every little bee's a light. Yo, like straight up though. think we've laid low long enough. Think we should be on our way? About to get to his feet when he heard voices from outside the storeroom again. That was pretty careless of us. Yeah, we gotta watch it. The theater guys from earlier had returned. They sound a bit panicked. Heard folks been messing with the storeroom bunch recently. Wandering Angels, it turned into. He's been taking on TV drama and film work as well. The next role he slated in for is Sun TV's upcoming suspense drama Sumo Queen 2. He will play the referee who utters a lame line, "Looks like things are getting heavy," upon discovering a victim's dying message inscribed in one corner of a sumo ring. Wow. Yep, huh? Did you hear who's behind it? Some juvenile delinquents. Like a gang? Wow, that takes me way back. All right, let's hurry on back. She rushed over to the door. He tried turning the knob, but the door wouldn't budge. Oh, come on. Are you freaking kidding me? He paced frantically around the room, pulling at his hair. We're locked in. That door was the only way in or out. Achi and Hitomi were well and truly trapped inside the storeroom. This is all my fault, Achi said. It was my idea to hide out here in the first place. Bowed to Hitomi repeatedly. We're never going to be able to find that blue minivan now. Guess we'll have to get someone on the outside to help us, Hitomi replied. She scowled thoughtfully. They powered their phones back on in order to call for help. The big question was who they could possibly ask. Hitomi, anyone you could reach out to? Mr. Tanaka, I suppose. Tanaka, right. The suggestion didn't exactly thrill Achi. He had no idea what this Tanaka guy was like. Hopefully he was the dependable sort who'd actually show up to rescue them. Somehow, the thought made Achi feel even worse. Achi had someone he figured he could call, hesitated uncertain. But there had been a time when he trusted this guy more than anyone. We bailed each other out at countless jams. Nowadays, though, things were different. Tommy gave Achi a puzzled look as he sat, lost in thought. Right, guess I don't have much of a choice. Achi scrolled through the contacts list on his cell phone, found the name he thought he'd never call again. Susumi. Yo. Achi? Is that you? Susuma's voice was low and guarded. Look, I've got a favor to ask you. I'm in a real bind here. Huh? Like, things are ridiculously bad. I thought maybe you could help me out a little bit. You seriously thought I'd help you? Susuma's words were like ice. You messing with me or something, man? Now he sounded a touch angry as well. Painful memories flashed before Achi's eyes. Right then, sorry to bug you, just forget it. Susumu hung up before Achi was even finished talking. No dice, he said. With a lopsided frown. She looked back at him, her expression a mirror of his own. What should we do? What should we do? So we're back to Mr. Tanaka. Okay, so, you want to go ahead then? Alright. I want to keep going, but like I'm noticing it is actually 10 past. So we really need to stop here. We very need to stop here. And you know, it's important that we where's my mouse? Okay, found it. So we will continue this next week. But there's definitely so much more going on. It's important. Oh my gosh. Yes, I do have a lot of thoughts and feelings about this plot. I mean, for the most part, whenever I see stuff, I do say it. But definitely, I'm still pretty sure that the character in the cat costume is Maria. And I have so many thoughts and ideas. So many thoughts. Yeah, no, we can definitely talk more plot on the next time for sure. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Much appreciated. Definitely enjoying this for sure. And it's going to be a great time next week as we continue on through this crazy convoluted plot with all the jumps and things that I feel like I get the jump mechanics though pretty well. So I can pretty easily find my way out of them. Okay, not easily, but like I can get there. And it's great. It's great. Still loving it. Still, Osawa, I dislike more and more and more, just as it goes on. Ashi's great. Himbo, ridiculous, fun, strong, just delightful. Yeah, no, essentially, there's a lot of gameplay in it, actually. despite the fact that I'm also just super invested in the story and the photography. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 photography. He has the most, I agree with that. He definitely has the most intense storyline, but he's the worst character of everyone. But yeah, anyways, I do super have to go. See you all next week. Bye.